Living abroad looks beautiful on social media. The pictures, the lifestyle, and the independence. But there is a side that no one really talks about: the loneliness. And today I want to be very honest about it, because if you are already planning to move abroad or you're already here feeling this way, you need to hear this. So if you think today's video is for you, remember to go nowhere and stay tuned. My name is Nesmomo. Let's talk about the dream. When most of us think about moving abroad, we imagine a better life. Don't get me wrong, it's really good to plan and to also dream. Better opportunities, better income, a fresh start. And honestly, that part is true. You feel proud of yourself. You feel like you have made it, or you are excited. Everything is new: the environment, the system, and the people. At the beginning, you are busy settling in, sorting out documents, work, accommodation, all this can really keep you very busy. So you don't really notice anything else from the start. And that is realistically accepted because you are in a survival mode. Let's move to the next part, where the reality starts to set in. Things begin to change. You begin to see things from a different perspective. You start to miss home, not just your family, but everything else: the noise, the food, the language, the way people understand you without being judgmental, or you having to really explain yourself too much. Even simple things like laughter feels different in someone's country. And if you're back home, you would think that all the things I'm saying are a little bit too much exaggerated. But I understand you wouldn't understand perfectly until you also travel. You realize that where you are now, you are starting all over again. That is a different blow altogether on its own. And sometimes it hits you in the most unexpected moments. Maybe after a long shift, or when you get home and there is no one to really talk to. That's why you actually find people having to share rooms with other colleagues just to have a sense of belongingness. That's when the loneliness starts in if you're all alone. It creeps in slowly. Let's talk about the weather and its impacts. This is something a lot of people underestimate before moving abroad, especially to places like Ireland, to UK, what have you. And I understand, because we are used to having the sun. We feel happy most of the time. We are very energetic from where we come from. We have no idea how it feels or how to really respond to the weather conditions here. The long, dark winters, the constant rains, the short days where it feels like the sun disappears too quickly. You wake up, it's dark. You finish work, it's dark again. And somehow that affects you more than you even expect. It affects your mood. It affects your energy. You sometimes don't even feel like doing anything. Even your motivations to go out and socialize becomes greatly affected. You find yourself always back home, doing nothing, always in bed. Back home, there's life outside. Sunlight, people, movement, the noise from the transport system. But here, especially during winters, everything can feel quiet, almost isolated. And when you are already feeling a bit lonely, the weather can make it feel heavier, because it has a very great impact on you, on your psychological health, emotional health, and your physical health. You find yourself staying indoors more, overthinking more. It's not anything to underestimate at all. Missing home becomes more, and it becomes not just a physical loneliness, but emotional too. But understanding this helps, because then you realize it's not just you. It's about the environment too. Sometimes it's not even your situation. It is the weather affecting how you feel. And you might think that the impact on the weather on your emotions are actually nothing until you really move abroad. You'll be asking yourself, is this really me? Yes, it is really you. It is real. Now let's talk about the lonely moments. There are moments you won't post online. You wouldn't feel like coming out, sharing things or even connecting to the people out there. Moments where you just sit quietly and think, is this really worth it? You miss your people. You miss being around those who truly know you. Because abroad, you have people, but not always your people. You need to really understand that. People that can easily connect with you. People that can easily appreciate who you are. And it's different. Sometimes you are surrounded by colleagues, but you still feel very lonely. And this has been very impactful, or has really contributed to a lot of people having to face lots of dark times. Sometimes you want to talk, but you don't even know how to explain how you feel. And let's be honest, time difference doesn't help at all. When you are free, your family is sleeping. Talk about those with the 8 hours time difference, 6 hour time difference. It's difficult to connect. When they are awake, you are working. So even communication becomes limited. And over time, the gap starts to feel bigger. Having to leave them, come to someone's country, it's a blow on its own. And then the time difference creates a whole bigger gap that you still have to deal with. Now let's talk about some special moments that even hit harder. The loneliness becomes even more real during important moments. You are used to having your family celebrate with you, to share your happy moments. But when you're abroad, in situations like birthdays, family gatherings, celebrations, or even difficult times, and if you've had a baby abroad like myself, it hits differently. That's a whole different level that you need to be psychologically strong for. And you need a very supportive family here, supportive spouse, because you might actually run into depression. You realize how much support you've had back home, and you begin to appreciate all those who have been with you from the beginning back home, who have actually supported you and also given all that they have to you. The help, the presence, and the comfort. Remember, no man is an island. You might think that you don't need anyone. That is a lie. You definitely need people around you. And now, it's just you figuring everything out. There are days you wish someone could just come and say, rest, I've got this. And I remember my mom so much for this. My grandmother so much for this. Because they were always around, making sure that I had all the rest that I needed. But you don't have that. And that can be very overwhelming. These are the parts people don't show online. People don't love to talk about. People are not real when it comes to this. Let's move to the emotional side. Living abroad is not just a physical journey. It's an emotional one. There are days you feel strong. There are days you feel very, very drained. There are days that you feel very, very exhausted. You might even question your decision. Was it really worth it? Why am I really suffering? And then you feel like you're living as a sacrificial lamb, having to sacrifice and get all the money, and then you send it to friends or send it to people back home, and you can see that they are actually enjoying life. You miss the same life that they are enjoying, and they wish they actually have your life. You might feel disconnected from both worlds, not fully here and no longer fully there. And that can be very confusing. But it's normal. It doesn't mean you are ungrateful. It is life. Yes, it is life. It just means that you are human. So it's just right for you to react in such situations. These are the parts people don't love to be true about. Through it all, there are growth and there are strengths in this. But here's the other side of it. This journey builds you. Yes, it does. It stretches you. It teaches you independence in a way nothing else can. You begin to do things that you never thought that you'd be able to do. You push yourself. You encourage yourself. You're like, there's no one. It is all about you. And you begin to prioritize. You begin to think about the people that need you. You learn how to stand on your own. You become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. And slowly, you start to build your own life. You find your own people. You live with them. You adjust. You survive. You create your own support system. And you attach all the importance to it because they are now become your people. It may not actually look like home, but it becomes something meaningful. And that is all to it. Find your secular cycle. Find those people who understand you, believe in your dreams, willing to support you. Draw closer to them. Make yourself available if you're in abroad. If you wish to come to abroad. These are some of the other sides that many people do not really want to talk about. I'm here today talking about it for you to know how it feels. So one day when you find yourself living in abroad, you will understand this video. You might want to come back to watch this video to encourage yourself once again. But remember, in all of it all, what actually fueled you to take that big step? To leave your country, to move to a different country, embrace another culture, whilst you don't forget who you are or your own culture. Remember, do not forget that dream. Pursue it, and definitely you will get there. Now let's talk about someone who is single, not married, living abroad. Going through all these challenges can be very detrimental to your emotional health. Because from where we come from, it's easy for a man to approach you, or to even, sometimes for a woman to even approach you. But in abroad, the culture is different. If you really want to date, you have to go on a dating site, or to the club, or to parties. That's where you find men approaching you, or women approaching you. Yes, it's both sides. I'm not going to just take one side. This can be very draining if you're not the party type. You might find yourself in your room, in your bed, just at work, back to home, and then you'll be wondering when you're going to get married. This can really affect you. So, even if you're not a party type, you might be forced to now find yourself in that circle. Not in a bad way, because you need to socialize, to also find yourself a partner, to grow, to have your own family. It's not Africa, where you have a man standing by to ask for your number or them to be able to connect with you. In abroad, a man cannot even approach you because they are scared of being reported or they see that as being rude. Yes, but that's the reality. If you're single, coming to abroad, you need to know this as well. Don't just watch this video and pass. No. Share it to encourage someone. Thank you all so much. See you all soon on my next video. Bye.